get ready for a quick quest guide for the Royal Trouble quest, in which the main rewards for completing are better rewards for managing Miscellania, 5000 Agility XP, 5000 Slayer XP, 5000 Hitpoints XP, and 1 quest point. You'll need to have completed the Throne of Miscellania quest before taking on this one, and in terms of skill requirements, you'll need to have 40 Agility and 40 Slayer. While not required, having 40 Prayer is also helpful for access to Protect from Ranged, and 50 Combat is officially recommended to defeat a level 149 Giant Sea Snake during the quest. When it comes to items, you'll just need either 5 coal or alternatively the best pickaxe you can use to mine it during the quest. Then in terms of recommended items, you'll want a weapon, armor, and some food to defeat the giant sea snake. You can use any combat style you like for this, but I'd recommend a magic or range setup which will allow you to safely defeat the boss while praying Protect from Ranged. If using magic, then I'd suggest using earth spells, which the boss has a 20% weakness to. Also, to help with the boss, you'll want an anti-poison or Superantipoison potion, as well as 1 prayer potion and potentially a potion to boost the combat style of your choice. For example, a ranging potion if using ranged. Then to help with the running around, I'd also suggest having 1 to 2 stamina potions, and when it comes to teleports, you'll want to have 2 fully charged Ring of Wealths. I'd also suggest having a teleport to anywhere for after the quest is finished as well. Finally, know that you'll want to have at least 4 empty inventory spaces at the quest start, or 9 if you're mining your own coal. Now we'll begin this quest upstairs in King Vargas's room within Miscellania Castle, which is easily reached by using a Ring of Wealth to travel to Miscellania and then running west into the castle before climbing up either staircase and heading to the large central room. To start the quest, talk to Advisor Grim within the room and firstly ask, has anything been happening in the kingdom recently? And then after some more chatter, select yes to officially begin the Royal Trouble quest. Following this, you'll need to speak to whoever you flirted with and possibly married during the Throne of Miscellania quest, being either the princess in the room to your north or the prince in the room to your south. So for me, I headed into the room north and chatted to the princess. Go through the chat to then start a cutscene with both the prince and princess, whereby the prince suggests that they get King Vargas and Queen Sigrid to marry to stop them from fighting. When the cutscene ends, talk to King Vargas and after some chatter say, right away, your majesty, before continuing the chat. And when more chat options appear, just click off from the dialogue. Next, use your Ring of Wealth to teleport to Miscellania and then run a tad east to the tree symbol on the minimap. And afterwards talk to Lumberjack Leif and go through the chat with him. When the chat finishes, run northeast and further east and go across the bridge, and then continue east into the Etceteria castle before going to the most southern room in it and climbing the staircase. Then head into the bedroom north and talk to Queen Sigrid. Go through the chat with her before saying, of course, it's my duty, and then continue through the rest of the dialogue. When the chat finishes, head back down the staircase in the southern room and then back outside to the courtyard. Within the courtyard, you'll want to find and talk to either Haming or Matilda who are roaming around and go through the chat with either one of them. Then after the chat finishes, use your Ring of Wealth to teleport to Miscellania and afterwards run west back into the Miscellania castle before going up either of the staircases and then heading back to King Vargas's room. Here talk to King Vargas and go through the chat with him until chat options appear, before clicking off from the chat. Then following this, talk to Advisor Grim nearby before saying, King Vargas asked me to talk to you, and continue through the rest of the chat. When the chat ends, once again use your Ring of Wealth to teleport to Miscellania before then running southeast to the docks. After arriving at them, locate and right-click on the sailor and select to talk to them, and then immediately say, I'm looking for a sailor, and continue through the long chat with the sailor. When it ends, use your Ring of Wealth to teleport back to Miscellania and then run west into the Miscellania castle before going up either of the 2 staircases and then back to the main room with King Vargas. Talk to King Vargas and go through the chat with him to be given a scroll, and then click off from the dialogue when chat options appear. Following this, climb down either of the staircases in the castle and then exit it into the courtyard before heading to the dungeon sign just a tad south. Select to climb down the ladder and go through the chat with the guard before entering into the dungeon. Once you're down, you'll want to head a little east and go into the pub before locating Donald inside. Then talk to Donald and go through the chat with him before saying, "Of course, dealing with monsters is what I do best," and then continue through the chat to obtain a mining prop. Now exit the pub and then run northwest until you reach a wall with a crevice. Use your mining prop on the crevice to wedge it into the wall and make it safe, and afterwards squeeze through the crevice into the adjoining room. Inside you'll find 3 crates and an engine. Firstly, take the engine and then use your 5 coal on it one at a time to fill it up. Note that if you brought a pickaxe instead of coal, then you'll want to mine the coal rocks in the room to get the 5 coal. Next, turn your attention to the 3 crates in the room. The northern crate contains ropes, and you'll want to take 2 ropes from it. Then focus on the middle crate, which has pulley beams. Take 3 pulley beams from it. Finally, the most southern crate has regular beams. Take 3 beams from this crate. Following this, use a regular beam on a pulley beam to create a long pulley beam, and then use another regular beam on the long pulley beam to create a longer pulley beam. Now pay attention to the broken scaffold along the eastern wall. Firstly, use a pulley beam on the scaffold, then use your longer pulley beam on the scaffold, afterwards use another pulley beam on the scaffold, and finally use one of your ropes on the scaffold. Following this, turn your attention to the platform just north of the scaffold. Here you'll want to use your remaining regular beam on the platform. Afterwards, locate the engine platform underneath the fixed scaffold and use your engine that you filled with 5 coal on the engine platform. Now ensure that you still have a rope on you and then select to use the lift platform to head up the wall. Once you're up, take the plank to your north and after grabbing it, enter the tunnel to your southeast. Once you're through, run east until you reach some water blocking your path. Use your rope on the rock overhead to attach it, and afterwards select to swing across it. After you're across, go a little east and continue through the dialogue that pops up. Then search the fire remains to get a burnt diary. Now go a little southwest whereby you'll see a bunch of small islands with very small rocks between them. Use your plank on each of the small rocks one at a time to cross over them, repeating this 4 times to get across. Following this, go a tad southwest to the fire remains and search them to add some more pages to the burnt diary. Afterwards, continue east for a while before locating and searching another fire to again get some more pages, adding them to your diary. Next, be very careful and make sure that you avoid standing on the steam vents as you head south past them, or else if you step on them you'll take a huge chunk of damage. Past the vents you'll find another campfire. Search it to get some more pages for your diary, and then follow the cave east and a little south to find another fire that again you'll want to search for more diary pages. Now select to read your diary before closing the interface. And afterwards run northeast whereby you'll see another crevice and select to squeeze through it to go through, which prompts a cutscene whereby you'll run into 5 kids from Relica that have been causing trouble. The cutscene has some funny dialogue, and when it finishes you'll want to continue through the chat with the group whereby they'll ask you to kill the giant snake. After the chat ends, run north and continue along the path, following it as it bends around to the east and then back south past the small sea snakes before it bends once again east and then north, leading you to a crevice. Make sure that you're ready for the boss fight and then squeeze through the crevice. Now immediately pop on Protect from Ranged and take a sip of your combat boosting potion before attacking the giant sea snake. Stand away from the snake so that it can't hit you with melee, and if or when you become poisoned, take a sip of your anti-poison or Superantipoison to cure it. And then it's pretty simple. Just attack and defeat the giant sea snake, taking a sip of your prayer potion if needed to keep your prayer points topped up. Before long you should defeat the snake, and once it's defeated it'll drop a heavy box that you'll want to pick up. Heavy box obtained, exit the room south through the crevice, and then continue through the chat with the guard that takes place. Following this, climb up the exit rope just to your south, and once you're above ground, run around and into the Etseteria castle before going up the staircase in the most southern room. Then go into the room to your north and speak to Queen Sigrid before going through the rather long chat with her. After which she'll hand you a letter and 20k coins. Letter obtained, use your charged ring of wealth to teleport to Miscellania and then run west into the castle and climb up by the staircase before returning to King Vargas's central room. Talk to King Vargas and go through a long chat with him before BAM! Quest complete. You'll be awarded better rewards from managing Miscellania, including 5 more kingdom workers and the ability for them to gather hardwood and farming seeds. You'll also gain 5,000 agility XP, 5,000 Slayer XP, 5,000 Hitpoints XP, and 1 quest point. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you in the next quest.